Hey guys.
Hi.
We had to redo our intro because the other one, it sucked. It was bad. And so we're dirty today. We're in different clothes. But when you're watching in a few seconds, we're going to be younger versions of ourselves.
Right. 2 weeks younger.
Yeah, 2 weeks younger. So that's why, because we had to redo our intro. It was really bad. Anyway, sorry for the delay since our last update video. It has been a while, but we've been very, very busy with a lot of things. So we're going to go into that now. How about we kick it off with what?
We're going to talk about hiring.
Yeah, we actually hired someone into the CAM and CNC lead position. That person begins finally on May 6th. Mm-hmm. He had to finish out some obligations with his current position at his other job, but he is really excited to begin work with us on the 6th. So we've got, by the time this video comes out, it'll probably be about 2 weeks.
A week or two, yeah. Right. So we're excited to have him come on board. We will introduce him next time. But we did hire our machine shop assistant. We hired Dallas, and he started a number of weeks ago. So we're going to introduce him here.
Yep.
Let's say hi to Dallas. All right, guys. So we hired Dallas here a couple weeks ago. He's been with us for about 5 weeks. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So we hired him for a position called machine shop assistant. And when we posted it, the variety of tasks that we had on there was huge. Like, we knew that this position would be involved in all kinds of different things here at the shop, and we weren't sure what we would get when we tried to hire somebody. But lo and behold, we have Dallas here. And so Dallas, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have been doing here for the past couple of weeks?
All right. Like Cheryl has said, I have been here for about 5 weeks now, and most of what I've been doing is behind the scenes in the background stuff, a lot of organization and a lot of maintenance and just overall setup for the shop. A lot of what I've been doing has been cleaning up older tools, setting up airlines to new machines, or reorganizing areas that need reorganized just based on the workflow of the areas. I try to keep up with that stuff.
So part of the reorganizing, to you folks, that might not mean a whole lot, but to us it's important. What we're dealing with is like, we had piles of these cases all over. We didn't know what was in them, and he took the time to sort through. These are all pins and gauges, you know, things that we need for QA, and we didn't know where stuff was or what we had. So one of the projects he was working on was getting reins on that whole scenario and getting it organized for us. Cleaning up, he was cleaning out machines for us. He seems to be quite mechanical, so that has come in handy for a number of different projects that we've had with taking apart vices and different things to kind of refurbish them and get them back in better working order so that we don't have to go buy new stuff. You know, if we can fix it for cheaper than we can buy it, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And he's proven his worth there already. You know, he's even taken time with tool cribs. Now, that doesn't sound like anything great or important, but here's the reality of it. We went to auction and we needed tool chests. And when we got them, they were so disgusting and dirty. It's like you don't even want to touch them. And they're filled with all this stuff. And so it's hard to use something that's not cleaned out and that's gross. It's unmotivating, undesirable.
Most of said tool cribs, they came with the previous owner's work and work habits. So their mess came with the tool cribs.
Right. So poor Dallas.
No, nothing that bad, but some wacky stuff.
Worked through the grime and he made a beautiful, these tool chests are just immaculate. So now they're usable. We have space and we can, put stuff in it. He took everything out, organized it. We threw away some stuff, laughed at some other things, and are keeping the last bit. So, those are just some examples of things that he's been doing in the short time he's been here. And it's really important to have behind the scenes people because they're really the backbone of how things run and how smooth things go. We're glad you're here.
And I'm excited to be here. It has been a wonderful 5 weeks, and I am excited to see where things are going.
So you'll see more of him down the road.
So thank you, Dallas. It's pretty awesome having him on the team now and finally getting some organization and having him working full time on that is great.
Yes. Yep.
So, okay, behind us, we've had this go through, what, 2 different phases in different videos. Like it was a crazy mess all torn apart. And
Actually, it's only been in one video.
okay, I was thinking 2. But anyway, it's back together now and it's fully working. It's been a couple different weeks that we had to have different technicians in, going over the machine, getting some things working mechanically, getting a little bit of training with the controller, and then having them come back to do some adjustments for our sub spindle to get that realigned with the main spindle.
Right.
We are now in the process of testing the post processors. I'm working directly with the Autodesk people for Fusion. So we have a gentleman we're working with there. His name is Bill, and we're working on the post processor for our machine. And then at the conclusion of that work, we'll really be able to begin doing machining and parts on the Okuma. So I have a little bit more training. I've got it's a very different controller from the other machines that we have, but we're making very good progress on it. And our investment is going to be a solid one. So we were worried about the money we spent on this being a used machine and, all the things that could be wrong with buying used machines, but it's passed the test. So we have a viable machine behind us. It's just a matter of getting up to speed on it and the controller.
Yeah, we had a few scary moments when it arrived and you don't know what you're getting. They said it worked where it came from, and it ships and things jiggle and jumble and you don't know exactly what condition
and
it's
it sat for probably 2 years.
Right.
While it wasn't being used, your coolant and things like that kind of congeal and turn into epoxy. So you get tight like parts that are supposed to move and now they don't. So we had quite a bit of things that we had to get re-lubricated and lots of PB blaster, and
the thing had a virus on it.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah, it had it had one virus in multiple locations on there.
Knew?
So, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Chris is just really dedicated and really smart. I mean, yes, he's my husband and I love him, but he's actually really smart. So his computer background from years and years of doing IT stuff really came in handy for trying to figure out how to figure out what virus it was that was on the computer here, and then figuring out how to get it off, clean it off the machine. Like I would have just sold the whole machine and said, screw it.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't know how to even tackle something like that. But luckily my tool set from many years in the past have allowed me to be in this. You usually call me, I'm very special. So
in certain circumstances, that's the right word to use. But this is like smart.
I had a special set of tools that I could employ on this problem, and we got it totally fixed. The machine is fully up and running. It is fully capable now. So all the data has been backed up, and all the danger points that we were worried about are in the past. So now it's just basically learning the machine and integrating our post-processor and Fusion with it so that we can start making parts.
Right.
So I have a bit of learning to do, but that's okay.
But we at least have the peace of mind that the machine is working as intended.
And our investment was worth it.
It was a good investment.
Yep.
Right. So we're excited about that.
Very.
So we have the Okuma lathe that we just purchased, and we have these 3 beautiful vertical mills that we've had for some time now, and they're sitting quiet.
Yeah, a lot of the time our machines are sitting there idle because with R&D work, you don't have a lot of spindle time necessary for making the parts. You're doing a lot of other things. You're CADing and you're testing and you're cogitating on things that you're trying to figure out. And you're not necessarily keeping the spindles busy on your very big, expensive machines.
Right.
So a while ago, we brainstormed and thought, how do we turn this situation into something where we could actually be making money and become revenue positive with Harmony before we ever sell our first unit?
Yeah. So far we have raised money with some crowdfunding rounds. A lot of you know that. And without an income stream, we're spending the money.
Right.
So we wanted to protect your investment and find other ways to bring in money, so we're just not spending until it's gone. We don't
want to have to be like one of those companies that sits there and does a raise, and then 6 months later, they need to do another raise. There's companies out there that just raise and raise and raise and raise, and you think, when is this going to end? We don't want to be that way. We want to do the bare minimum number of raises that are necessary to
Right.
get this product launched.
Right. We want to be self-sufficient. We started on this journey a couple months ago of starting to do a little part here and there. And a month ago,
Yep, before we even hired our new person.
Right.
Well, actually, we had hired him, but before he even started,
Yeah.
we had a job fall into our lap for some very specific work that we're doing on graphite parts.
Right.
Nobody wants these jobs. They're very difficult.
special.
They're ugly. They're very dirty.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, we'll try it.
Yeah. We have spindle time.
Yep. So basically, these parts came into us, and they're not very big. They're about the size of my hand. And they are incredibly intricate. They are going into like 2,400 little tiny holes that need to be pocketed in on these parts, and everything has to be exact, super tight tolerances. We're talking tolerances that we've never had to worry about holding before. Now we're having to hold them for these parts.
Right.
But with those demands, with those intricacies, and with the fact that nobody likes to do this graphite, a company looking to have them done, they're going to have to pay a lot of money to have these parts made. And when we were like, yeah, we'll give this a try, we had to tool up. We had to buy some special tooling. We had to have a few things done. We had our spindles reground on the machines, and we're getting another repair done to our one machine now to help with our inverter and the CPU side of it. But we're actually able to make very good parts on our old equipment. Yep. So even before our new person starts, even before they come on board and that's their job, they're going to be making money with all of these jobs that we're going to be doing. But even before that person starts, we began this job about a month ago,
Right.
and have made like $20,000 with this work already. Yeah. So this is amazing that we can offset a huge chunk of our operating expenses in Harmony just by utilizing the machines in their spare time.
Right.
And we're not talking like you have to be over there babysitting this thing.
No,
it runs for 2 hours
Right.
on just one operation.
Right.
Then we do, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to change out the part,
Right.
and hit the button and let it go again.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect type of job where it's just running, doing its thing all day long. And we have maybe a cumulative time that we're messing with it for 30 minutes out of the day.
Right.
And in that process, we're doing some very, very lucrative jobs for Harmony.
Right.
So this is a really great way that we're utilizing idle spindle time on the machines to become revenue positive. If you can't tell, we're pretty excited about it because it allows us a future where we don't have to do continual raises, where we have all of the money. Our goal would be to, if our burn rate is, let's just say $50,000 a month, that's not a crazy goal to get to the point where we're making $50,000 a month. And we, at that point, don't need to even worry about doing any further raises.
Right.
Any money we make above and beyond that, we can obviously start putting that back into the coffers. So we have some buffer.
Yeah. So
it's exciting.
We're excited to actually see this in action, to see it become profitable right before our eyes. And we're just getting started.
Yeah, this is really the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
So I can see a future where we have our CAM CNC lead and maybe 2 or 3 other full-time individuals just swapping out parts and running programs, keeping the machines going. And we have that whole little department now has grown into a fully functional machine shop. So it's kind of cool because it speeds things up for us rather than slows us down. People out there were like, oh my gosh, now it'll take forever. You're never going to get done making Harmony. Well, we're actually speeding things up because with this process being a finely tuned machine constantly running, we have a part that we need for Harmony. Now we say, hey guys, we need this, and it's a Harmony part, so it bubbles up to the top, and we get those parts very, very quickly. Before, I had to stop everything I was doing, shift into machining mode, continually interrupting what you're doing to shift gears, interrupt this to shift gears. Now we have sort of 2 separate departments. One where we're doing the R&D for Harmony and the development and the testing, and then the other side will just be sitting there machining constantly and being sort of a machine shop on the side. It's kind of cool to see where this, just in 2024, where things may progress over this year.
Right.
The changes are going to be astounding. Just from the beginning of 2024 to where we end up at the end may be pretty drastic. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I hope you're excited.
I am.
Yeah. All right, so we've covered a number of really cool things there. We've introduced Alice and talked about our new machines and new strategies and new departments and all that stuff. But we've got some really important updates for you.
Right. Let's check in with Nate and see what he's been doing these past few weeks.
So, Nate, I've been busy on some other things, but last time I looked, there was nowhere near the amount of wires and craziness that's in here. What's going on, dude?
So all the wires do have a purpose. But yeah, last time we talked, we were working on, just this gearbox. Since then, we had, tried a couple different generators, which weren't, that
Not the
great.
best.
Yeah, they're off the shelf. So we actually 3D printed. We've got an air coil axial flux generator. This is really just to get data. It's not 100% efficient, but
it's not going to be anything even close to what you expect in the final product.
Down in this mechanical region, what we have is we have the gearbox with a generator and all these wires going on. Basically, what we're collecting is we're collecting data. And the data that we're collecting is we're collecting voltage, we're collecting current, we're collecting RPM. So you can kind of see there's a Hall effect sensor, and it flashes whenever the magnet goes around. So we get how many RPMs the turbine spinning.
You're doing all that so that you can collect this remotely.
Correct.
So we don't have to be real time sitting here writing down all these things.
So all this is transferring to my computer. And the other very important factor is we've got a anemometer up at the top that's also telling us the wind speed. And all that's
it's being collated onto a spreadsheet, basically.
And
so we could let it go for an hour, 2 hours out in the wind to gather data, to test that we're dialed in and that our electronics are working correctly.
That's the goal.
And the next step then would be when we finally do get our new generator that we're going to be talking about, that will replace this gearbox and our 3D printed generator. So we'll be able to take this off and then put the proper generator on.
All the sensors are going to go with it. We're going to make it look a lot nicer, all in one box that's waterproof.
With one wiring harness. And
and the goal is to eventually put this on our building and get some real data, and then eventually get it out in the field.
Start our beta testing. So our first beta test will be on the corner of our building out here, guys. And once we get the new generator in and kind of waterproof and modularize everything, we'll be able to have our first beta unit out on the corner of our building full time in the weather in all conditions, which is a huge
we're
step
getting there
to finally be at.
And we're going to be testing new scoops at the same time.
So wait, what? New scoops? What are you talking about?
Yes. Months ago, we talked about, testing different little models in the wind tunnel.
We had all those little guys on display for you.
I think we went through like 30 some of them. We picked really the one that was kind of the best, easy to manufacture. It wasn't the best, but it was easy to manufacture.
And it still allowed the furling.
It allowed the furling. So we picked one of those, designed it up to actually fit on the exact same frame. And
it's being made right now.
It's being made right now by our
So we will be able to replace these scoops with the new scoop design right here in this frame.
And we'll be able to test, A to B, how much better the new scoop geometry is. And, if a wind tunnel
holds true.
Up.
All right. Well, thank you, Nate.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nate. That was awesome.
So we have even more to share with you guys.
Big update.
There's just been a lot going on here. So we have started exploring a partnership.
Yes, it's a partnership.
With an individual who's a NASA scientist, a retired NASA scientist.
Retired NASA scientist.
Awesome.
He's started like 9 companies over the last 20 some years, and all multi-million-dollar companies, if you can believe that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He reached out to us a few months ago and wanted to work with us because one of their new companies they have has some metamaterials, 3 or 4 different new metamaterials that they want to test and work with us on using in Harmony. So of course we were like, yeah, why not?
So what that means is instead of using aluminum, which is what we've been using all along for our scoops and most of what we're doing.
And to be clear, that's only for prototyping purposes. We're using aluminum because it's quick, it's easy, we can machine it, we have it available.
Right. We knew that down the road we would need to look at different materials. There's different environmental factors that will require not aluminum.
Yeah.
like
need
the
to
coastal region.
We need to be
cannot.
lighter. We need to be more economical.
Right.
We need to be able to withstand ultraviolet and salt water
Right.
and, all kinds of things, cold climate conditions. So, yeah, this was actually really cool that it fell into our laps.
Right.
Thank you, universe.
So we will introduce this business down the road when the time is right. We're exploring these options.
Yeah, we're literally getting ready to take a trip to Colorado here in, 2 weeks?
A couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
To see the material, feel it. They're making some scoops, like our scoop design out of it, so we can actually...
They're not only making our scoops for us, they're making a slightly smaller version than what our full-size units are for us to touch and feel and examine and inspect. But then on top of that, they're also using 2 different metamaterials to work on specific generator technology for us.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little more about that? It's a little over my head.
So guys, in my patent, I know all of you out there have been so excited to look at the patents and you dig into all of the nuts and bolts. No, maybe they don't. Okay. All right. So
Probably not.
Cliff notes here.
Yeah.
Our patents on Harmony are with the scoop design and the furling technology and everything. And then on the other side, we have patents for the generator technology. Now, the patents that we have for the generator technology would be very, very useful in large scale turbines. So things that are like, 100 kilowatts or larger would be very, very happy to utilize that technology. But it's probably not cost effective to put the patent technology into small scale like Harmony is. So even though I have it patented under Harmony and everything, I'm not sure it's going to be a viable option to shrink that technology down and use it in the small scale. It just probably doesn't make a lot of sense economically to do that. But you can achieve the same end result as what we're doing in our patent, the ability to have zero cogging and startup and all the wonderful things that it does. To do that at large scale makes perfect sense, but to do it in small scale, you want that ability, but you don't want the cost and the moving parts and the pieces and everything that would be involved. So this company actually has the ability to make generators that would do pretty much the same thing that my patent does, but electronically. So it's very similar to how an alternator in a car works. You just ramp up the amount of current that you're putting into your primary coils, and then that can either, if you're not putting in anything, you're eliminating the cogging or having very, very low cogging in the beginning. But then as it gets going and gets the momentum going, you start ramping up your input to those primary coils. So now you're making power on the secondary.
Right.
Geeked out a little bit there, sorry. But in the end, the same, end result is you get to start out with little to no cogging. And then as the wind picks up more and more and more, you get to fully engage those coils for full power production. So electronically, they're achieving the same end result as we will be with our patents, and larger versions of the generator will be achieving that mechanically. So one of the downsides of doing it electronically is you have to steal some power to do it. And that's why it's not really something that people would want to do on large scale, because you'd have to sacrifice 10 or 11% of your power production just to power the primary coils. Mm-hmm. And now when you're talking a unit that's producing, 3 megawatts of power, that's like 300 kilowatts that you're wasting just to energize your coils and make the power. So it's not something they want to do. They don't want to waste power at the large scale like that. That's why our patent would be very, very helpful in those situations for large scale power production. And we've said it all along. I said, we have an entirely separate revenue stream that we can chase after with our generator patents. Mm-hmm. So we'll go on that route when the time is right. We are still prototyping and working on the generator in small scale to prove the technology, but that could be down the road and done totally separate from Harmony's development. In the current process, we're going to go and hopefully be able to achieve the same end results for you with small scale turbines, but the generator is controlling those mechanisms electronically, and we're doing it through electronic, means rather than mechanical means.
So this is an option we're exploring. Our trip to Colorado will actually be not only to touch and feel the metamaterials that they're preparing for us, but it'll also be to see the generator. They're making one special for us. And hopefully it'll be ready when we go there. We'll get to bring it back with us and start testing it. And we're really excited about this because while we have tried a few other third-party off-the-shelf generators, they haven't worked for us.
Yeah, they've been a disappointment.
Right.
You know, I won't say a waste of money because you have to try something to know whether it's going to work. So it's not a waste of money in the fact that we're trying the things and they're just not working in the range that we operate, the RPM range. We need a very specific solution for a generator technology.
And what they're proposing seems very promising.
Yeah.
So we're excited to for that trip because it
opens up a whole new world of a very, very low cost, viable, highly capable generator that would be hitting the market right there, tied into and integrated right into Harmony.
Right.
So it's kind of exciting.
We can't talk a whole lot about it because nothing is final. We haven't tested it yet. We're just exploring the options, and if it came to fruition and worked out, it would mean we get these turbines out a lot quicker than we would otherwise. So
yeah,
we get to our testing a lot quicker.
It's awesome because it allows us to sort of separate that side of the business, and we're working with them. We would be partnering with them, but they would be sort of making these custom generators for our very specific purposes.
Right. Yeah.
And the metamaterials allow them to be much lighter, much stronger, and
less expensive.
Yeah, all sorts of really, really good benefits. So
these are the things we've been working on. We have a lot of things happening in the next month or two, a lot of really exciting things and possibilities and new people, and
yeah, it's going to be crazy.
The next time we do a video, it should be really interesting.
It'll be like 3 months between this one and the next one because we'll be so busy.
Not.
We'll try and be better, but we always try and be good about when we put the videos out. So
yeah.
So guys, we're just really excited and hope that you continue following along. We're excited to give you these updates as they come out, to speak about the new and exciting things we're working on, the new endeavors, the new projects that we're pushing forward, the new initiatives that we're doing, you know, all these big company words that we as little tiny Harmony are starting to experience here.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. It's really, really neat to see how drastic the changes are going to be in 2024. So this year is a pivotal year in many ways for us.
So. Yeah.
So
okay. So another goof that we made that I noticed when I was editing the video is that we missed a really important piece of thanking you guys.
yeah, thank you to everyone who supports us, who follows us, who has stuck with us through thick and thin, the crazy little company that we are. And even when we have long delays between updates, we apologize for that.
There are some folks who noticed that it had been a long time since we had an update, and they actually emailed us to check in and said, hey, you guys okay? So yes,
we are okay. We're just sometimes
busy.
Yeah, really
So
busy.
it takes a little while to put these things together. So thank you for caring.
We do our best to try and get good updates out to you.
Right. But yes, thank you for sticking with us and for supporting us.
We wouldn't be here without you, truly.
Yeah.
So we're here because of you, because of your belief, because of your support. And thank you for that.
All right, guys.
Thank
Until
you.
next time.
Until next time, take care. Harmony Turbines. We now have the power to change the world.
Intro.
Are you recording already?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. You got me adjusting my belt.
Yep. Hey, everyone.
I wasn't even looking. You're like... All right. So thank you, Dallas.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Okay. Eradicated. The machine is all fully backed up now and working exactly as it should.
There's numbnuts.
You just said that on our video. We have a resident squirrel whose name is Numbnuts.
Right. He just walked by.
He just walked by.
And yeah. Do you have anything?
Nope. In the 5 months that I've 5 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
5 weeks I've been here. It has been.
Thank you.
Yes,
we
we
wouldn't
wouldn't be here
here.
without you.
Jinx.
You owe me a beer.